All right, Shalom, Shalom. It's your brother Walk Rummy back with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Waha, Rakakodash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord you see on the highways and byways, prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Also in the correct doctrine. I'm going to also give a shalom to the 1/3 men, women, and children that will escape the judgment of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah by their faith. Just got another lesson I'm going to bring out through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, man. The Lord is setting these Egyptians against the Egyptians, man. And this is biblical prophecy that we're witnessing. Man, these scriptures are popping off the page, man. Every day is prophecy being fulfilled. And we know that it's going to basically intensify, but we're seeing glimpses of these Edomites going against their selves, man. They're going against their government. They're going against their kingdom. Let's hit these videos, hit a couple scriptures, and Lord willing to be edifying.
Donald Trump
Slacky.
is your show, and so I will say to him direct.
Slacky, let me go back.
Donald Trump watches your show, and so I will say to him directly, Mr. Trump, you are the first president in American history to start and lose a war by yourself. You have made America more weak, more alone, and less respected. Congress has to take back the steering wheel from this impaired driver before we end up in a third quagmire in the Middle East of the 21st century. That starts with ending the escalation. He keeps on trying to escalate vertically, meaning more effects on target. Iran escalates horizontally, bringing in other regional players, other infrastructure assets into the fight. Iran is winning that escalation ratchet. We got to stop it. We got to negotiate transit through the Strait of Hormuz.
And it was also a solar eclipse that happened today. And see, the Lord is showing that he's against Esau, and he's about to take him down. Because the Iranians, they're being backed by Russia, North Korea, China, and he also was been invited to join with the Pakistan, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia alliance that they set up. So you're seeing that everybody's starting to alienate Babylon the Great, man. They're starting to turn away from Babylon the Great, man. And it's only thing is going to happen to this place next is the economic crash. The nations are doing away with the U.S. dollar, and they're going to bring in an economic crash never before in the history of the earth. It's going to be so bad, man, because the money that everybody has to use. I mean, speaking of the other nations, they're going to do away with it, man. It's going to be worthless, man. It's going to be useless. So it doesn't matter how much money you got. It don't matter how many investments you have. It don't matter how you live. When a dollar crash, everyone goes to zero, man. And this is how they're going to bring in the MOTB. They're going to bring in this new beast system, which is not new. It's just something that they need to switch to. It's because when they switch it over, you're going to be presented with the mark of the beast, man. And this is how you can tell everything is trending that way. So DJT brung in this war to cripple Babylon the Great to bring in a new system. He was a Trojan horse. Now check this out, man. This happened on the U.S. Abraham Lincoln. So the Egyptians are against each other, man. So just imagine when this economic crash happens.
Multiple sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln have tried to jump overboard due to how horrific the conditions are on the ship. The aircraft carrier has been deployed for over 259 days, including a record-breaking 208 continuous days at sea. This is all to support the war that Donald Trump started in the Middle East. Widespread exhaustion and anxiety over an indefinitely extended deployment have triggered severe psychological distress among the roughly 5,000 crew members. Family members and online tracking reports indicate that up to 6 sailors have tried to throw themselves overboard out of desperation, but the U.S. Navy has not publicly released an exact figure. Families of active duty sailors and Marines detailed the horrific living conditions on the ship. Wartime logistics and disruptions, including a strike on a U.S. facility in Bahrain, have crippled the ship's supply lines. The ship's store regularly runs out of basic hygiene products like soap, deodorant, and toothpaste, forcing sailors to wait in line for over an hour only to find empty shelves. They're also running out of food. Meals have been reduced to half a cup of rice and 2 tortillas. They're facing countless infrastructure issues as well, and operating on grueling 12 to 16-hour shifts with virtually no days off since the ship left the port.
So they're basically sitting ducks, man. The morale of the U.S. Army is gone. So basically, when Russia and China really gets into this fight, these military members, they're not going to want to fight, man. They're not going to want to fight at all. And not only that, they had 7 people want to jump off, man. But this everything ties in together, man. Because as you seen, as he spoke of, 7 military service members tried to jump off the boat because they're living the way they're living, man. Even though these military soldiers, they stay in, uh, um, um, I would say, un, unreally, they still, stay in the field and the realistic. They don't stay in. They try to make it rough for them. In other words, man, where it's not comfortable. Where they send them to the field, have to sleep outside and all of this, just to basically mentally train you for living in extreme conditions. That's the word I was looking for, extreme conditions. They train you to live in extreme conditions, but not being able to brush your teeth, not being able to put deodorant on, take a shower, use the bathroom, even eat. Going and eating half a cup of rice and tortillas, man. That's worse than prison. So these Egyptians are finna turn on each other, and they have turned on each other today. And that's what we, warning you from the draft that's coming, man. The Lord is shaking his hand over Babylon the Great, man. It's not going to be turned back, man. You're not going to be able to stop it. And it's only going to intensify, man. It haven't even hit Babylon the Great, man. If it hit over there, just on a boat, and because they've been out there almost a year now, man. I think it's 63 weeks or something like that, some wild number, 290 some days. They've been on the boat, living in these conditions, and they're ready to jump off, man. See, this is a psychological warfare the Lord is using against Babylon the Great as well, man. Now check this out.
Okay, given that we have reports that our sailors from the USS Abraham Lincoln have been informing their family members that there are many shortages. It is the longest deployment, which I don't think many Americans are aware of. This is the longest deployment on a ship that any American has ever had to take. They've been on that ship for 9 months. They're going nuts. They don't have enough supplies. They don't have enough food. And reports are that today, when someone came from the White House to talk to them, they got booed, and then it broke into a fight, and seven people were killed. Yet no one's reporting on this, and it happened. So, media, can you do your job?
So they got into it on the ship. And service members killed each other, man. Now, they're not reporting on this on the mainstream news, man. They're not going to tell you this, man. You got to find this out by alternative news, man. Alternative means of informations. And we see that as they have had, stayed out there for so long, you have people saying it's the same ship that the 7 members tried to jump off of. That somebody come from the government, I'm pretty sure the White House, and try to boost the morale, and it turned into a all-out brawl, man. So what they're saying is it's not looking good, man, for Babylon the Great. I'm gonna rewind that back so you can hear it one more time, real clear.
Okay, given that we have reports that our sailors from the USS Abraham Lincoln have been informing their family members that there are many shortages. It is the longest deployment, which I don't think many Americans are aware of. This is the longest deployment on a ship that any American has ever had to take. They've been on that ship for 9 months. They're going nuts. They don't have enough supplies. They don't have enough food. And reports are that today, when someone came from the White House to talk to them, they got booed, and then it broke into a fight, and seven people were killed. Yet no one's reporting on this, and it happened. So media, can you do your job?
And 7 goes into completion, man. And that, like I said, nobody's reporting on that, man. I seen what she had. I think she got it from Press TV. They report on it. This is right here. Is a Press TV. This is the channel, but they didn't come out and say that there was 7 members got killed by the brawl, though. It says deadly clash. Yeah, it's saying it. They ain't saying it. They just trying to tamper it down where it's the wording. You gotta understand. They worded it to make it seem like it was a clash of a small clash that happened. Deadly clash aboard U.S. carrier Abraham Lincoln leaves 7 dead, several injured. Report. See, they're not saying the soldiers are going against the Navy soldiers are going against each other. They worded it where it won't. Somebody that's reading it here in Babylon the Great, they're not gonna think this. It's service member going at each other, man. They're not gonna think that. So they play it, man. They are playing their role to the T, man. Where they were, I'm talking about the media. They playing their role, man. Not to stir up the American people, because you best believe if everybody knew that there was a clash where they was fighting, they would be going against their own government, man. Now we're seeing that this military is not ready, man. They're not ready. They're not prepared. Their spirit is not in the fight, and that goes to show you that the Lord is taking it away, man. They're taking it away. The Lord is taking it away. Now check this out. What was it like being in the Army? Now check this out. It was a Jake, and this is no place for a Jake, man. In the so-called white man's army, it never has been.
Recruiters, first of all, they lied to you. Their job is to get you in the army. They don't care about your well-being, bro. Black women go missing all the time in the army. This is what they're not going to tell you when they play in them ads and commercials. Come serve your country, and they get you with, oh, you can get a new car, get a home, health care. And everybody's broken army. Everybody's poor. Everybody living check to check. Nobody has money in the army. Unless you like a high-ranking person, everybody's living check to check. So when they try to get you, you're going to make all this money. Yeah. Everybody broke financially in the army. Multiple friends and associates, women they got, men they got, a lot of drug use, a lot of alcoholism, a lot of domestic violence. They don't tell you how many deaths and how many traumatic things you see just in training accidents alone. But there's so much they'll tell you about the racism in there. You can't think for yourself in the army. You have to do whatever they say. You're nothing but a number on their books. You do not get treated like a human being in the army, bro. They do not care about you, especially if you're black, especially if you're a woman. They do not care about you in the army. I joined the army in 2016 at 18 years old. I got out in 2021. So I served almost 5 years, right? I was active duty. And a lot of racism in there and chauvinism. Man, first 3 days, they gave us something to eat, but it wasn't enough, bro. Yeah. Like, they gave us something called MRE. You familiar with MRE? MRE. Yeah. They gave us those for the first 3 days, bro. Wow. And that's not enough to really fill you up, bro. Decarbonated juice, powdered milk, and add water to it. And they used to call it astronaut food. I had a few friends that was in the army who had came out of prison, and they got wavered in, and they said some of this army food, these MREs, is worse than prison food. Crazy. Ew. I had waves at the time. My waves are swimming. They cut you bald-headed. Oh, you couldn't even have waves? Couldn't even have waves in basic training. That's when they condition you and breaking you in to the army, teach you about the army life. The military recruiters specifically shoot for if you are having financial difficulties at home, if you're in a lower economic class or poor. But I don't advise any black man, black woman to join the army, especially black women. But if you're black, Latino, Hispanic, low GPA, they look for folks who are prone to stuff like that. But that's why I went. I had a buddy, a lot of people messed his last name up. His last name wasn't Thompson, it was Tompkins. But we were about last names in the army, right? 1921 at the most. That brother was an excellent swimmer. He was missing for about 3 days. Every time a soldier goes missing, we stop what we're doing and we search the installation or the military post or basically the military grounds, right? It didn't make sense when they found him, say he drowned. Yeah, like I get a little check every month, but bro, it's not even close to being enough to pay for what I endured in the army. I wasn't Brother Jamal. I didn't know nothing about black liberation, pivoting over black figures. I knew nothing about the significance and the heritage of our people, our unique powers and abilities. I didn't know who I was, so I was more prone and susceptible to allow somebody else to push me to do something that was outside of myself. So that's why I ended up going, yeah.
And he just gave you a rundown of how they play on your emotions, man. Esau plays on Jake's emotions to make him move the way he wants him to move, man. This is also a fear tactic that they use against Jake, man, because we are spiritual beings, man. And that guy, he told you, it's not a place for a Jake, especially a woman. So you at the hesp of Esau, man, in everything you do. And that's why we warn our people, man. He's like he said, he didn't know anything about himself, his heritage. Now he's coming to the understanding, man. And see, Esau is is the devil, man. The Bible speaks of, and he uses every aspect of this world, man. Getting you where you can get you get a nice house, you can get a career, you can go to school, go to college. This is how they play on Jake, man. And they play on Issachar, he play on all the tribes, man. So you got to understand, man. This is not our rest, man. This place got to go down, man, for us to be at rest. So let's hit a couple scriptures and Lord willing to be edifying. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." And see, the Egyptians are the modern day Americans, man. We're in Babylon, we're in Egypt all over again, man. Revelations 11 and 8, man. I always hit that because we're in a spiritual place that we was in captivity before, and we just in captivity again. In the same captivity, just in a new land. "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother." See, the Lord had those men fighting each other. It showed you. It's also like he said, like I just said earlier. It's like prison, man. He said it was worse than prison food, man. And he also set them against each other, man. They might have been fighting over food, man. Fighting over shot. Ain't no telling, man. We just getting a small glimpse of what happened, man. That these Navy, Army, servicemen killed each other, man. So the morale is gone, man. Let me finish this up. He says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." And they say that's coming in Babylon the Great as well, man. We just seeing a small glimpse of the Lord shaking his hand over Babylon the Great, man. "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail." See, this spirit once was a every weekend you would hit the club and party and have fun. That's gone, man. The mirth of this place is finished, man. I just seen the brother did a video on how they saying going to the movies, doing the things that normally would excite you. It doesn't excite the people anymore, man. The Lord has truly stripped this place bare. "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek their idols and their charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." So, usually you would, go and have fun, party, hit the mall, go to the mall or travel. All that's taken away, man. And see, our people are seeking another sense of security, man. And that's in these gods that they worship, man, Jesus. But we're bringing out through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is the true power. That's where you should be seeking this, security, man, safety, man. It's in this word, man. And that's why we continually bring these lessons out. Dropping down to verse 12, it says, "And they shall," dropping down to verse 12, it says, and where are they? Where are the wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts have prepared upon Egypt. And this is what we're telling you through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, what the Lord has prepared upon Egypt. NLT, it says, "Where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh?" And it's speaking of these Edomites, man. The wise counselors, your generals, they done fired all of them. DJT done fired all, Peter Hegseth, he done fired all the wise men that control the army, man, the generals and the commanders and all those men that had the understanding of how to plan wars, how to fight wars. They got rid of all of them, man. So we seeing this firsthand, man. The Lord is stripping this place bare. "Where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? Let them tell you what power plans, what Yahweh Shem Yahushua of heaven's army is going to do to Egypt." See, what the Lord is going to do to Egypt. It says, the princes of Zohan are become fools, and the princes of Nope are deceived. And these are just cities, man, in Egypt. Zoan and Nope. You can I can click it, but for the sake of the lesson, these are just cities in Egypt, man. So we're speaking of Babylon the Great in this day and time, man. They are deceived. They went in the army thinking that they was going to get a career and going to go to college and buy them a car. But this is truly telling you through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord set them in the army or in any armed force to be judged, man. It says they are also seduced. Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof. Yahweh Shem Yahushua have mingled a perverse spirit. See, the Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunk man staggereth in his vomit. So these people are confused, man. These people are finna see the Lord return and bring great judgment, man. NLT, it says, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has sent a spirit of foolishness on them. See? That perverse spirit, man, foolishness. Not knowing this is the end. It says, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit, man. So when a man is drunk in his vomit, man, you just see, man, a man is throwing up on himself, man. He's weak. He has no strength. this man, you can't tell me this word ain't the truth, man. You can't tell me it ain't, man. 15, it says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women. See, they're emotional, man. Everything is based on your emotions, man. Just like he was saying, man, they went the recruiter. He don't care nothing about you. He's just trying to get you in the army, man. He don't care about how you live, how you grew up. They just want to get you in the army, man. They sell you a false hope. And to the point now, we know that they're going to be sent off to never return to Babylon the Great again, man. Verse 16, it says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts, which he shaketh over it. See, the Lord is shaking his hand over Babylon the Great, man. And it's only going to get worse from here, man. It's only going to get worse from here. Now, the Lord has always given us this word to build ourselves up in the faith of the Lord, man. To understand that, what's going on. This is the news, man. We tap into the scriptures, and this is the news. This is the true news, man. Because this is prophecy. Everything we need to know is right here in the scriptures, man. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 2. It says, for the indignation of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is upon all nations. See, the Lord is against all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. See, the Lord is against everyone's army, man. At this time, he's lifted up the other armies to destroy Babylon the Great, man, because his indignation is against this place, man. It says, and he hath utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. See? This is prophecy, man. The Lord is setting up Esau's army to be destroyed, man. To be slaughtered, man. He says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. See, the Lord is putting this place in a path of straight judgment, man. And their army as well, man. They're sitting ducks over there. See, when 9/11 happened, no one knew about the Illuminati and all the things all the witchcraft that was done. Now we see it perfectly, man. We see it just as we supposed to see it, man. Because when they brought in 9/11, everybody wanted to go against Iraq, man. They killed all these people. And now we seeing that it was all witchcraft, man. It was all set up for them to bring in the NWO. And they're still on that path to accomplish it. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord has woken us up to this truth, man. Because I wasn't in the truth when 911 happened. And we thought it was really somebody coming against Babylon the Great. But now we know plain, man. We know plainly the way Esau works, man. This is Jeremiah 51. In verse 30, it says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. See, they're not going to want to fight, man. That's why we just went into seeing that the morale is gone, man. For them to go against each other and kill each other, the morale is gone, man. They're not going to want to fight, man. They're not, and that's what DJT is preparing, a ground invasion. He says, the mighty men of Babylon have forbore to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might hath failed. They became as women. See? Terrified, man. They have burned their dwelling places. Her bars are broken, man. NLT, it says, her mightiest warriors no longer fight. They stay in their barracks. Come on, man. You can't make this up. Their courage gone. And that's plain, man. You on a cruise ship. They're on a cruise ship. They ain't on a cruise ship, but they're on this warship and eating a cup of rice and 2 tortillas, man. And the guy was just telling you that it's worse than prison food, man. So the morale is gone, man. The courage is gone, man. He says they have become like women. The invaders have burned the houses and broken down the city gates. So that's what's coming, man. They're going to be caught off guard. Man, you can just see everything. This scripture just right here is just coming off the page, man. Plain as you can possibly get it, man. Verse 31, it says, one post shall run to meet another, one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. See, it's showing you that this place is finished, man. The Lord is going to take this place down. And that the passages are stopped. And the reeds they have burned with fire. And the men of war are frightened. See, the men of war are frightened. So the Lord is putting this place in a position that they're going to be destroyed, man. They're not going to be able to overcome the destruction that the Lord is bringing on it, man. And now you see that those war fighters, they're ready to get off that boat, man. These 7 people they're ready to jump to their deaths. So man, we living in, man, beautiful times, man. This is Jeremiah 51. In verse 52, it says, wherefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that I will do judgment upon her graven images. And through all her land, the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify her heights and her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come upon her, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So the Lord is making us, these war fighters, weak, that they can bring up the other armies against this place, man. It says, a sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua have spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice. When her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of her voice is uttered, because the spoiler is come upon on her, Slakia, is as even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of her bows are broken. See, those missiles are not going to fire off, man. They're not going to want to fire these missiles off because they're going to be too terrified, and they're going to want judgment on Babylon the Great, man. You know, people get spiteful when their backs against the wall, man. It says her bows is broken, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua power of recompenses shall surely acquit, and I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers and her mighty men. See, this is the Lord breaking them down, man. And they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, man. judgment, and not wake, saith the king, whose name is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken. See, this place is finna be touched, man, by another nation, man. It says, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folks in the fire, and they shall be weary. NLT, it says, this is what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of heaven's army says, the thick walls of Babylon will be leveled. They have no protection, man. The Lord is destroying their army, man. It says, her massive gates will be burned. The builders from many lands have worked in vain, for their work will be destroyed by fire. So this place is going to be touched, man. The Lord is destroying his armies, man, for them never to be able to rise and do what they've always done, man. Because he hasn't even brung the true players into the fight, man. Your Russias, your Chinas, your North Koreas, they ain't even in the fight yet, man. And you're seeing that Babylon is already, they're already pretty much is throwing in the towel, man. They pretty much threw in the towel, man. They ain't said it, but you can see what's happening. They're throwing in the towel, man. This is Jeremiah 50 in verse 35. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, and that's the elite of society, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This is who's sending them to the war. It says, the sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. See? The sword, man, the judgment. And that's coming, man. NLT, it says, the sword of destruction will strike the Babylonians. Said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, it will strike the people of Babylon, her officials and wise men too. See, the Lord is not letting these, the elite of society get away. They sent them into war, man. Dropping down to 36, it says, the sword is upon the liars, and they shall doth. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed, man. This is plain, man. NLT, it says, the sword will strike the wise counselors, and they will become fools. The sword will strike her mightiest warriors, and panic will cease them, man. Seize them. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man, is destroying their armies, man. The Lord is against their armies, man. And you're seeing that come to pass right now, man. This is Isaiah 13. In verse 7, it says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. See, the minds of these people is leaving them, man. Them guys are ready to jump off the bridge, man. This is strategic, man. It says, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman in travail, man. So these men that you think is tough and going in the army, and even these guys is YNs, they call them. They're gonna be terrified, man, for what the Lord is bringing on this place, man. And he's doing it bit by bit, as the scripture tell you. He's doing little by little. It says, they shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames, man. NLT. It says, and the people are terrified. Pangs and anguish grip them like those of a woman in labor. Man, they look helpless at one another. Their faces aflame with fear. For see, the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is coming, the terrible day of his fury and his anger. The land will be made desolate, and all sinners destroyed with it. So the destruction is coming, man. This is unavoidable. So I'm in it there. Lord willing, was edifying. Shalom.